Chapter 6: Combustion, Flame and Fuel. We will learn combustion, fire and fire extinguisher, flame, fuel. Try to answer. Name two products formed by the burning of candle in air. Combustion. Combustion is a chemical process of burning of a substance in the presence of air or oxygen with the liberation of heat and light. It is an exothermic reaction that releases energy in the form of heat. For example, burning of coal gives out heat energy, which can be used for various purposes. Sometimes, light is also given out during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. For example, flames in case of burning candle and glow in case of burning coal. Combustible and non-combustible substances. Depending upon whether substances burn in the presence of oxygen or not, they can be classified into two types: combustible and non-combustible substances. Substances that burn in air or oxygen to produce heat and light are called combustible substances. For example, paper, wood, LPG, kerosene, petrol, diesel, etc. Substances that do not burn in air or oxygen are called non-combustible substances. For example, iron, glass, sand, cement, water, etc. Products of combustions. Fuels are substances that react with oxygen to release useful energy. Most of the energy is released as heat, but light energy is also released. Most of the combustible substances that we see around are made up of hydrocarbons, that is, compounds of hydrogen and carbon only. When they burn completely, most of the energy is released as heat, but light energy is also released. Conditions necessary for combustion. There are three conditions necessary for combustion. A. Combustible substance. Combustion is only possible if the substance is combustible. Fuel is the substance which undergoes combustion. Substances which catch fire at a very low temperature and burn with flame are called inflammable substances. These substances have low ignition temperatures. For example, LPG, petrol, spirit, etc. B. Supporter of combustion. Oxygen helps in combustion. Air contains oxygen, thus the supply of air makes the oxygen available, which helps in combustion. Without oxygen, combustion will not take place. Any substance or medium that supports combustion is called supporter of combustion. C. Ignition temperature. For catching fire, all combustible substances must reach a certain minimum temperature. If a combustible substance does not reach at or above its ignition temperature, it will not catch fire and combustion will not take place. The minimum temperature at which a substance catches fire is called its ignition temperature. The ignition temperature is different for different substances. Thus, above three conditions are necessary for combustion to take place. If any one of the above three does not occur, combustion will not take place. Activity. Aim: to show that air is necessary for combustion. Materials required: a candle, a glass tumbler and a matchbox. Procedure: light a candle and fix it on the table. It burns brightly as it is surrounded by air. Now cover it with a glass tumbler and observe. Observation: the candle burns for a little while, then flickers and blows off. Conclusion: this indicates that air is necessary for combustion. Activity. Aim: to prove that a substance catches fire when ignition temperature is reached. Materials required: to paper cups, made by folding a sheet of paper, water, a candle and a matchbox. Procedure: light the candle. Take a paper cup and hold it over the candle flame. Observe what happens. Now, take the second cup and pour some water into it. Heat the water in the cup over the candle flame. Observe what happens. Observation: the first paper cup catches fire easily. The second cup, however, does not catch fire. The water starts boiling without burning the cup. Explanation: in the first case, paper being a combustible substance, catches fire easily. The second cup, which is filled with water, does not burn because the heat given by the flame is quickly transferred from the paper cup to the water. The heat gained by water raises its temperature and finally it starts boiling. As a result, the ignition temperature of cup is not reached and hence, the paper does not burn. Types of combustion. Based on nature and intensity, combustions are classified into three types: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosive combustion. Rapid combustion. It occurs when a substance burns rapidly and releases a large amount of heat and light within a very short time. For example, when a burning matchstick is brought near cooking gas, the gas catches fire immediately and burns very quickly, producing a lot of heat and light energy. Spontaneous combustion. It occurs when a substance catches fire on its own without the application of an external source of heat. For example, when white phosphorus is left out in the open at room temperature for some time, it burns all by itself. Forest fires and fires in coal mines also occur because of spontaneous combustion. Explosive combustion. The combustion which is characterized by the sudden release of heat, light and sound accompanied by the liberation of a large amount of gas is called explosive combustion. The rapid expansion of the gases causes explosion and the production of sound. For example, burning of crackers produces a large amount of heat, light and sound. Based upon the amount of oxygen available, combustion can be of two types: complete and incomplete combustion. Complete combustion. It occurs when the supply of air or oxygen is enough to support the burning of fuel. For example, when methane burns insufficient oxygen, carbon dioxide and water are formed with the evolution of a lot of energy. In general, here is the equation for the complete combustion of methane. Hydrocarbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. CH4 plus 2O2 gives CO2 plus 2H2O plus energy. Incomplete combustion. It occurs when the supply of air or oxygen is poor. For example, the resulting products in the case of incomplete combustion of methane are carbon monoxide, soot, unburnt carbon particles, water and energy. Incomplete combustion is often undesirable because it releases less energy than complete combustion and produces carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas. In general, here is the equation for incomplete combustion of methane. Hydrocarbon plus oxygen gives carbon monoxide plus carbon plus water plus energy. 4CH4 plus 5O2 gives 2CO plus 2C plus 8H2O plus energy. Fire and fire extinguisher. A fire can be fatal if not controlled on time with appropriate methods. Every city has a fire station which is equipped with all the firefighting equipments. Many a time, homes, forests, shops, etc. catch fire. In such cases, it becomes necessary to put off the fire, otherwise it may cause huge monetary loss and loss of lives. Fire brigade or firemen are experts in controlling fire by using fire extinguisher. To extinguish a fire, at least any one out of three essential conditions for combustion must be removed. Supply of fuel, supply of air and ignition temperature are the three essential conditions for combustion. Therefore, the methods of extinguishing a fire involve the following. 1. Removal of the combustible substance. Removing the fuel is the most difficult task for most fires. For example, in case of fire in a building, the whole building becomes a fuel. So it is not possible to cut off the supply of fuel. Therefore, the firemen try to cut off air supply or bring down the temperature of combustible material below its ignition temperature. 2. Cooling the substance to below its ignition temperature. The best way to cool the substance is to dump water on the fire. Water is the most familiar and effective extinguishing material, but it can be dangerous if used in a wrong situation. For example, water is a good extinguisher for burning wood, paper, etc. But it is not a good extinguisher for electrical fires. If electrical wiring is on fire, pouring water on it will conduct the electricity through the water and can harm the person who is trying to put out the fire. In case oil and petrol catch fire, extinguishing it with water will not be useful because petrol is denser than water and also immiscible in water. As a result, water forms a layer beneath them and the substance continues to burn. 3. Cutting off the supply of air. This can be done with the help of carbon dioxide gas, which is not a supporter of combustion. To control the electrical and oil fires, it is best to use carbon dioxide gas as an extinguisher. Since carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so it covers the flame like a blanket, cutting off the contact between the fuel and the oxygen. Another way to get carbon dioxide gas for extinguishing a fire is to release a lot of dry powder of chemicals such as sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, or potassium bicarbonate over the fire. Fire extinguisher. A portable device which is often used to extinguish accidental fire is called a fire extinguisher. It is painted with red color for easy identification. It is not possible to remove all the combustible substances from the place of fire, so a fire extinguisher is used. The function of the fire extinguisher is mainly to bring down the ignition temperature of the burning substances, and it also helps to cut off the supply of air to the fire. 2 common types of fire extinguishers are carbon dioxide fire extinguisher and soda acid fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide extinguishers are filled with carbon dioxide gas under extreme pressure. When it is released from the cylinder, it expands suddenly and cools down the combustible substance. It is therefore very effective. It is used to extinguish the fire caused by flammable liquids such as oil. Since it is non-conductive in nature, it can also be used to extinguish electrical fires. They are easily identifiable by its red painted body with a black label around its neck. Soda acid fire extinguisher. It is based on the principle of extinguishing fire by cooling down the burning substance below its ignition temperature and by cutting the supply of air to it. This extinguisher consists of a metallic cylinder with a knob and a nozzle tube. The cylinder is filled with a solution of sodium bicarbonate. A small glass bottle containing concentrated sulfuric acid is attached with the knob of the metallic cylinder. When we strike the knob of the extinguisher, the acid bottle breaks and the acid comes in contact with sodium bicarbonate solution. This produces carbon dioxide. Since carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so it covers the flame like a blanket, cutting off the contact between the fuel and oxygen, due to which the fire gets extinguished. The disadvantage of this extinguisher is that it is not effective when oil catches fire. 2Na8CO3 plus H2SO4 gives Na2SO4 plus 2CO2 plus 2H2O. Flame. A flame is a region where combustion of fuel takes place. All substances do not give flame while burning. The substances which vaporize while burning give flames, whereas the substances which do not vaporize while burning do not produce flames. For example, kerosene, wax, etc. are the substances that burns with flame as they vaporize during burning. Charcoal is a substance that does not vaporize but still burns without any flame. It only glows on combustion. In general, flame can be of different colors depending upon the temperature, availability of oxygen and nature of substance that is burning. The Bunsen burner, which is commonly used in school laboratories, has an air hole that allows complete or incomplete combustion. The flame of a burner is blue when the air hole is open and it gets sufficient supply of oxygen, that is complete combustion. A blue flame is also called a non-luminous flame as it emits very little light. This type of flame leaves behind no residue. On the other hand, when the air hole is closed, the flame becomes yellow in color due to insufficient supply of oxygen, that is incomplete combustion. A yellow flame is also called a luminous flame as it emits a lot of light. This type of flame leaves behind black soot and other residue. Candle flame. Light a candle and observe its flame. We will observe that the flame is spindle-shaped and has different colored zones. A candle flame can be divided into 3 main zones depending on the amount of air it receives. Non-luminous zone. It is the outermost zone or the zone of complete combustion. The flame appears blue in color because of complete combustion of wax vapors as there is adequate supply of oxygen. This results in the formation of carbon dioxide and water. It is the hottest part of the candle flame. This zone emits very little light. Luminous zone. It is the middle zone or the zone of incomplete combustion. The flame appears yellow in color because of the incomplete combustion of wax vapors as there is inadequate supply of oxygen. This results in the formation of black deposits of unburnt carbon particles which glow when they get extremely hot. It is moderately hot zone of the candle flame. This zone emits the most light. Activity. Aim. To show that luminous zone of the candle flame contains unburnt carbon particles. Materials required: a candle, a matchbox and a clean glass slide. Procedure: light the candle using a matchstick and fix it on the table. Now take a clean glass slide. Hold it with a pair of tongs and introduce it into the luminous zone of the flame. Observe what happens. Observation: a dark black ring is formed on the glass slide. Conclusion: the black ring is formed due to the deposition of unburnt carbon particles which form soot. Dark zone. It is the innermost zone or the zone of no combustion. The flame appears black in color because no combustion takes place here. This happens due to the accumulation of wax vapors that is not burnt. It is the least hot region of the flame. This zone is completely dark and emits no light. There is also a small region at the base of the wick where carbon monoxide burns with a blue color, called blue zone. Activity. Aim. To show that in a candle the wax vapors burn to give a flame. Materials required: a candle, a glass tube, a pair of tongs and a matchbox. Procedure: light the candle using a matchstick. Take a narrow glass tube. Hold it with a pair of tongs and introduce one of its ends in the innermost zone of the flame. Bring a lighted matchstick at the other end of the glass tube. Observe what happens. Observation: a flame is observed at the other end of the glass tube. Conclusion: innermost zone of a candle flame consists of wax vapors which burn at the other end of the glass tube. Fuel. Fuel is a substance which gives heat energy on burning in the presence of oxygen. Fuels release heat and light energy through a chemical reaction known as combustion. We use many fuels to obtain heat energy, light energy, and so on. Classification of fuels. On the basis of their physical state, fuels can be classified into 3 types. Solid fuels. Fuels that exist in solid state at room temperature are called solid fuels. These fuels leave some ash or residue after combustion. For example, wood, cow dung, agricultural wastes, charcoal, coal and coke. Liquid fuels. Fuels that exist in liquid state at room temperature are called liquid fuels. These fuels do not leave any residue after burning. For example, petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. Gaseous fuels. Fuels that exist in gaseous state at room temperature are called gaseous fuels. For example, biogas, CNG, compressed natural gas, and LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. On the basis of their occurrence, fuels can be classified into two types. Primary fuels. Fuels which are used in the same form as they occur in the nature are called primary fuels. For example, wood, cow dung, agricultural wastes, natural gas, etc. Secondary fuels. Fuels which are obtained from natural fuels by various physical and chemical processes are called secondary fuels. For example, petrol, diesel, kerosene, paraffin wax, etc. from petroleum, biogas from animal dung, coke from coal and charcoal from wood. On the basis of their sources, fuels can be classified into two types. Renewable fuels. Fuels that can be used over a longer period of time as they get replenished readily are called renewable fuels. They are derived from natural renewable resources such as plants or animals. Fuels obtained from animal wastes such as cow dung, forest residues such as wood and agricultural wastes such as husk and paddy straw are examples of renewable fuels. Non-renewable fuels. Fuels that are present in a finite amount and cannot be replenished very readily as they take millions of years to form are called non-renewable fuels. For example, petroleum, coal and natural gas. Fuel efficiencies. The efficiency of a fuel is measured by its calorific value. Calorific value of a fuel is defined as the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kilogram of a fuel. It is expressed in a unit called kilojoule per kg, kJ per kg. The higher the calorific value of a fuel, the more is its efficiency. Calorific values of different fuels are given in the table. Characteristics of an ideal fuel. To determine which fuel is best suited for a purpose, we look for certain characteristics in them. They are as follows: 1. It should be readily available. 2. It should be cheap. 3. The ignition temperature should be moderate, neither too high nor too low. 4. It should be safe to store, handle and transport. 5. It should not pollute the environment. Ideally, no solid waste or poisonous gas should be released during combustion of the fuel. 6. The fuel should have high calorific value. In other words, a small amount of fuel should release large amount of energy when burnt. There is no fuel that has all these qualities, and hence no fuel can be considered as an ideal fuel. Harmful effects of burning fuel. Fossil fuels are the major energy sources that are being used in the world today. But their overconsumption can lead to serious environmental issues such as air pollution. Fossil fuels release carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc. when burnt that can have severe consequences on the habitats. Increase in the consumption of fuel leads to harmful effects on environment. Following points will clearly depict these effects. Carbon fuels such as wood, coal, and petroleum release ash and fine particles of unburnt carbon in environment. These fine particles called SPM, suspended particulate matter, are very dangerous pollutants and cause respiratory diseases such as asthma. When fuels are incompletely burnt, They release carbon monoxide gas in the atmosphere. This gas is very dangerous as it is poisonous in nature. It is a colorless and odorless gas and hence its presence cannot be detected immediately. It has more affinity to combine with the hemoglobin in the blood and forms carboxyhemoglobin. This in turn decreases the oxygen carrying capacity of blood. The deficiency of oxygen in blood causes headache, dizziness, and various respiratory diseases. The combustion of fossil fuels also releases a large amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which is responsible for global warming. Global warming is rise in the overall temperature of the Earth's surface. This leads to melting of polar caps and rise in the sea level, which further results in flooding of low-lying areas. Burning of coal and diesel releases sulfur dioxide gas. This gas is extremely corrosive and suffocating in nature. Petrol gives off oxides of nitrogen. The oxides of sulfur and nitrogen get dissolved in rainwater and form acids. This is known as acid rain. It is harmful for crops, soil, and damages buildings. Nowadays, these fuels are being replaced by CNG, compressed natural gas, because it is a clear fuel and produces less harmful products. The oil spills from oil tankers transporting petroleum have resulted in widespread pollution in the sea, leading to the death of a large number of aquatic animals. The oxides of nitrogen released from engines of vehicles are poisonous in nature. Lead, Pb, compounds released from the engines of vehicles into the atmosphere are poisonous in nature, and their prolonged inhalation may cause serious diseases like cancer. Keywords: combustion, a chemical process of burning of a substance in the presence of air or oxygen with the liberation of heat and light. Combustible substances, substances that burn in air or oxygen to produce heat and light. Non-combustible substances, substances that do not burn in air or oxygen. Ignition temperature, the minimum temperature at which a substance catches fire. Inflammable substances, substances which catch fire at a very low temperature and burn with flame. Flame, a region where combustion of fuel takes place. Fuel, a substance which gives heat energy on burning in the presence of oxygen. Calorific value, the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kilogram of a fuel.